I actually want to just focus in for a minute on one of those kind of tipping point issues, which is Libra. I think there was an initial, let's just call it, allergic reaction to some of the initial ideas and the way it was sort of handled. But it feels like the Libra Association has pretty deftly adapted their approach at the supranational level with the Swiss government and I think probably also with the U.S. government, Singapore government, other key governments really evolve that. I feel like the conversation around Libra is a little bit of a proxy for the conversation around the acceptability of things like global stablecoins, the idea that blockchains are going to be a mainstream payment infrastructure. It ties to things like what we're doing too. But John, maybe you could comment a little bit on how has the conversation evolved around Libra in particular on the Hill.
Yeah, and I mean, to disclaim, we advise Novi, which is the Facebook wallet that's going to be built on the Libra network. But look, I think to your point, we put out the white paper, the association took comments in, probably got maybe more comments than they expected from regulators across the world, but worked really hard to try and include them and represent them and work with policymakers. And they put out a second one just a month or two ago, and they're taking comments again. So, it did certainly cause people to take notice, because what had been discussed as theory, like what if Bitcoin will become so widely adopted that it could destroy the financial system, to, wow, this network is going to be built and it could be implemented on day one to how many hundreds of millions of people. That really got people to get away from theory and start thinking more practically about it, and caused literal nation states to start thinking about, okay, whoa, maybe we're behind the 8 ball on what we should be doing with our own sovereign currency. So, look, I think it's been a net positive overall. I think it's gotten more people interested and involved than they ever would before, understanding terminology and parts of the industry that they wouldn't have.
Yeah, it seems like that. Thoughts from Perry Ann, Kristen?
Yeah. I mean, I think what was so amazing about watching that whole process is Facebook released a white paper. They put out ideas, they put words on paper, and the world had this huge, as you stated, an allergic reaction. There was a significant pushback, and it created this catalyst of a conversation. We had the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, give a press conference on the project. It caused the first sitting president of the United States of America to start tweeting about cryptocurrencies. And while those responses came from a position of fear and skepticism, what it did was it forced some very important conversations to happen at a much higher level of government. And going back to what I was saying earlier about education and knowledge is one of our most important tools. It forced people to spend more time understanding this technology, what it is and what it's not. And where we are today is we have people in the highest levels of government who have a deeper appreciation for this technology, and we've been able to move the dialogue forward. And we're seeing that materialize in a very real way today in Washington and globally.